Ethereum is seriously undervalued at its current market cap. This cryptocurrency still has a lot of room to run. And even though we're going through this kind of bearish moment in the markets right now, Ethereum is ready to just explode over the coming years. In this video, I'm going to give you some statistics about why I think Ethereum as an asset is criminally undervalued at the current prices. And if it goes down even farther, well, it'll be even more undervalued than it is right now. My name's Lark. Every day I make videos talking about cryptocurrency investing. So if that's a topic that you would like to learn some more about, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Gently tap on the thumbs up button. Don't be brutal, just a gentle tap, guys. That's all it takes. And of course, click on the notification bell to know when I put out a new video. So let's go ahead and jump into this topic real quick. So, Ethereum, currently the market cap, $235 billion. That's a lot of billions. And you might think, well, hey, come on, Lark. Really, is really that undervalued? I mean, that's a pretty big market cap. Well, it was almost, of course, it was actually more than twice that market cap recently. It was around $500 billion market cap not so long ago. I remember the days. That being said, that's the current market cap of Ethereum. And what's interesting, and I want to talk about as a comparison here, is actually PayPal. Now, PayPal is one of the world's biggest online payment providers. So how does Ethereum stack up versus this payment giant? Well, currently the market cap of PayPal, $344 billion. So we can see right there, Ethereum is worth, $1 billion or $100 billion less than the PayPal company is worth. Now you might think, okay, that's a pretty bad comparison. I mean, PayPal, it's such a huge company. It does so much more business than Ethereum. But does it? Well, let's dig into the facts here. But before we do that, just a quick note. If you want to earn some safe and simple passive income, you need yourself a BlockFi account. 5% APY on Bitcoin, 4.5% on Ethereum, up to 9.3% on stablecoins. And of course, if you get the new hot Bitcoin rewards BlockFi credit card, you not only, of course, get those Bitcoin back rewards every time you swipe your credit card, but also an extra 2% earnings on your stablecoins, which is totally freaking crazy. Sign up using the link down below in the description, and you'll get up to a $250 Bitcoin bonus as well, exclusively by using that link. So great way to get some free Bitcoin and to start earning some passive income on your crypto. Now let's talk about the differences here in terms of value settled, users, all that stuff. So let's start off with PayPal in 2020 did $936 billion in total transaction volume. That's very impressive. That's a lot of transactions. That's almost $1 trillion in total value settled by PayPal. PayPal is still a payments behemoth. Amazing. Now, how does Ethereum stack up to that? That's an interesting question. Well, Ethereum in 2020 did over $1 trillion in total on-chain settlements. In just Q1 of this year, though, $1.5 trillion settled on Ethereum. That's incredible. So in just the first quarter, Ethereum did 50% more transactional volume than PayPal did in the entire year in 2020. Incredible. It's no wonder that PayPal has started selling Bitcoin and Ethereum to their clients, because they're going to get blockbustered if they don't. They can see where the future is heading, and it's heading to online payments, which is exactly why PayPal has, of course, started to allow its customers to pay for things online using the Bitcoin and Ethereum in their PayPal accounts. Smart move, PayPal, smart move. But that, of course, is a nice strategic move, but the numbers really speak for themselves about the dominance of Ethereum as an online settlement provider. It's incredible. 1.5 trillion in Q1. And you know what's the crazy thing? It's been going even more than that. That's just Q1 that we're talking about. Now, this is Bitcoin versus Ethereum. This is money movers, right? Who's settling more value on chain on a daily basis. Now let's just talk about Ethereum. Ethereum right now, it's around $34 billion a day. Now it's come down quite a bit since the recent highs back here at the start of June, where it got up to $55 billion a day. But let's just say, as an approximate, if the current $35 billion of daily transactional value settled on-chain on Ethereum was to continue, that would mean that every 30 days, Ethereum is doing as much volume as PayPal does in a year. So approximately, we're seeing the Ethereum blockchain settling 12 times as much volume every single year in transactions compared to PayPal, one of the world's biggest online payment providers. That's incredible, 12 times as much, and yet Ethereum is worth $100 billion less than PayPal right now. That's crazy. That's crazy stuff right there. Now, even if we're talking just about, we'll just exclude the Ethereum asset here, even if we're just talking about, stablecoin transfers, you can see $11 billion a day. So that's just dollars moving from point A to point B. That is also incredible because that means that every 90 days, if we're just talking about USDC, USDT, and DAI transfers, then every 90 days, Ethereum is doing as much volume as PayPal is doing, and it's still doing 4 times as much dollar-denominated, specifically stablecoin transfers settled on-chain every single year. Incredible. Incredible. Now let's talk about users. So right now, PayPal has 337 million users and merchants using the PayPal network. That's very impressive. Very impressive. PayPal's an old company, right? It's been around since the 90s. They've done incredible things in terms of actually building up this user base. I mean, 337 million people, that's a lot of people. So well done to you, PayPal. That's incredible. You're, an online payments giant. No one can argue that, right? Now, what's interesting, Ethereum currently has 160 million unique addresses. Now, I really have to point out that does not equate into 160 million users. It would be pretty sweet if it did, but it does not. I mean, I personally probably have, 15, 20 different Ethereum addresses if we count different exchanges and some old wallets I don't use and stuff like that. Maybe it's even more. So, look, maybe I'm probably a user that uses it more than most people, but I would imagine that most users probably have, let's say, 2 or 3 Ethereum addresses. So if we were to say the average is 3, right? So you have some people who have only 1 or 2, and then you have, users like me who have like 15 or 20. Well, let's come to an average of 3. So then let's just cut this entire thing here by a third. So, we're only at around 50 million users probably for the Ethereum blockchain. So that's much, much less than PayPal. But at the same time, that also means that Ethereum has an incredible potential to expand to include a truckload more users just to get up to the PayPal levels of actual humans, right, using the network here. We're probably going to need to get a number, something like, a billion unique Ethereum addresses would probably equate to around 300 million users, 250 million users maybe. But that'd be approximately on par at that point with PayPal. So that means that while PayPal is, high up in terms of, it's much harder for PayPal to go from 300 million to 600 million users compared to Ethereum. It's much easier for it to go from, let's say, 50 million users, which might be the current actual number of humans that have used the Ethereum blockchain, to go up to the next level to get to 100 million. It's a lot easier. So there's a lot more growth potential here, which again speaks to the undervalued nature of Ethereum. Now let's talk about fees, because this is a very, very interesting one. This is based on New Zealand fees. So this is, of course, what the merchant has to pay. If Ethereum, the buyer has to pay to send the transaction for the, sending stable coins or whatever else they might be doing. So there's a bit of a flip around, but let's just take a look at the fees as they are. So 3.4% plus 45 New Zealand cents. So if I was receiving a $1,000 payment from somebody, so if somebody sent me $1,000 and I was selling a service to them, well, then PayPal is going to take $34.45 from me. That's a lot. That is a lot. And you think about, adding that up over a lot of transactions, 3.4% is a lot. Now, what's the current fee to send something on Ethereum? Well, it's 59 cents. And look, gas fees right now are at record lows for 2021 anyway. We've seen gas fees on Ethereum absolutely go insane. But even at the craziest gas fees, if I wanted to send somebody an Ethereum transaction, if I wanted to send somebody $1,000 worth of Ethereum, at the highest gas fees we saw recently, it would have been probably the same or less than that PayPal fee. And that was at a peak, right? That was at a big market spike. The fees for Ethereum, to use Ethereum, are usually much, much less than that. So it's hard to talk about the peak like that as being a typical experience for an Ethereum user. So for most times, if somebody wants to send money, it's much cheaper to do it using the Ethereum blockchain versus using PayPal to do it, because the fee as a percentage of your total transaction is actually so much less. And I know you might say, but okay, Lark, sure, the gas fees are low right now, but they're going to spike back up to like crazy amounts here, Moon Boy, so let's just chill out on all this nonsense here. Well, yes, fees will go back up as the network demand goes up, but you have to remember there's some very, very important things happening right now for the Ethereum blockchain. In particular, it's moving to proof of stake potentially by the end of the year. That should be a big change in the overall structure of the blockchain. And of course, we have layer 2 solutions like Polygon now, which allow you to send stablecoin transfers for a fraction of a penny. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Plus, of course, network sharding is coming in 2022, which will basically bring fees down and keep fees down for a very, very long time. So just keep all that in mind, that again, what PayPal is handling right now in terms of transaction volume is, of course, less than Ethereum in total dollar value, even though they're servicing more customers and did a larger number of transactions. Still, we have to kind of keep in mind the potential here as the Ethereum network expands, as we see more users come in, as we see more transfers starting to happen. So the potential here is very, very big. Now let's talk about the asset itself. So that's the networks, right? Let's talk about the asset. Currently, PayPal pays 0% dividends. So if you're investing in PayPal, you are investing on the idea that it's a growth stock and that it's going to be worth like $1 trillion one day. Maybe it will get up to $1 trillion market cap one day. That'd be a nice, 200% gain. Dig it. 200% gains are cool, man. I love it. But there's no dividend yet. No dividends. So that's kind of a bit of a downside here. I know growth stocks, dividend stocks, there's a conversation to be had there, but if you're buying a growth stock that's worth $344 billion, the growth potential becomes a lot less versus buying a stock that has a 10 or 20 or $30 billion market cap, as an example. And no dividends, of course, meh. Now let's talk about Ethereum. Ethereum has just introduced staking, well, back in December. Feels like it just happened, but you can now stake your Ethereum in ETH 2.0. Now, it is a one-way trip until ETH 2.0 finally does the merger, etc., etc. But right now, it's around a 6 to 7% paid out in Ethereum earnings. So not only does Ethereum have the potential to have a growth stock-like movement, moving from, of course, a $250 million market cap right now, or it's $250 trillion market cap right now, potentially up to a $1 trillion or more market cap, as all of this stuff that we're talking about starts to come to fruition. So that would be 300-400% potential straight up gain on the value of the asset itself, which I believe, Ethereum will be a 5-digit asset. It's only a question of when that's going to happen. Plus, you get these sweet, sweet staking rewards. So you get 6 or 7% a year paid out in Ethereum, which, look, maybe PayPal at some point in the future is going to introduce a stock dividend. And if that's the case, unfortunately, you don't get that stock dividend paid out in more PayPal stocks. That'd be kind of cool if they did, but they don't. They're going to pay out in dirty dollars. Much better, of course, to get more Ethereum. Because that Ethereum that you get, that 7% a year, let's say you had 100 Ethereum, you're getting 7 more Ethereum a year. Well, that Ethereum you can take, restake, and earn more Ethereum next year. It's amazing. It's amazing. So it's a very different value proposition here that we're starting to talk about. EIP 1559, look, I know we talk about this a lot, so I'm not going to talk about it very much, but this is essentially a mechanism for Ethereum where they're going to put in a stock buyback mechanism for every transaction, basically, or most transactions. So we're going to have this continual situation where the more the network's used, the more Ethereum is going to be bought up off of the market, essentially, taken off the market as part of the fee burning process. So that is, in a way, an automated mechanism for stock buybacks. So that's just a little something to consider as well for the future of the Ethereum asset. And now we've just talked about transaction volume, we've talked about users and all that stuff. But the thing is that Ethereum is not just a transaction layer, so to speak, in terms of just, okay, send money from person A to person B, much like PayPal is. Ethereum is so much more than that. It's incredible when you start to realize all the pieces coming together here and what the potential of this technology is. This is the entire financial layer of the internet that we're talking about here. So some of the big things that have happened recently, for example, the European investment banks issuing out digital notes on the Ethereum blockchain. That's happening straight on the blockchain. Banks are starting to issue out, bonds and different things like this. We've seen some stock offerings that have been tokenized on the blockchain. Of course, they choose Ethereum most of the time when they want to do that. That's incredible stuff right there. We're seeing some of the world's biggest financial institutions adopting the Ethereum technology because it works, it's secure, it saves them money, and it makes for just a faster experience in terms of settlements and stuff like this. So it goes beyond just sending USDC stablecoins from one person to another. We also, of course, that's just one thing, bonds and all that stuff on the blockchain. That's cool. What about decentralized finance? Here, the article entitled "Software Hasn't Eaten Wall Street, but Ethereum and DeFi Might Be About to." Right now, you can go on Ethereum, you can use decentralized finance applications to get, like 5, 8, 10%, whatever, sometimes in some farms, much higher rewards with your USDC or with some of your other assets. This is incredible. Of course, PayPal doesn't offer you those options either. This is, again, just incredible potential here for earnings, and it just really hits home the fact that the Ethereum blockchain goes so far beyond just being a simple means for payments. It's an entire ecosystem of financial products. So it's PayPal plus like a whole bunch of other stuff. It's your banking services, it's your lending services, your mortgage services, it's your insurance services, all this stuff happening. How do you properly value that? Not at the current price, I tell you. No, it's going to be worth much, much more in the future. And here's one more just cherry on the cake for you. The Bank of Israel is using the Ethereum blockchain for its upcoming digital shekels. Interesting. Are we going to see banks all around the world issuing out their central bank digital currencies on open public ledgers? Even if we got just a couple of countries doing that, it would be game-changing beyond belief. Even if just Israel did it. But it could be Israel and dozens of other countries end up releasing their central bank digital currencies on an open, public, permissionless network like Ethereum. I mean, come on. What is the value of that network? Is it $250 trillion. Is that the fair value for a network that's doing all of that stuff? Or is it a situation right now where most investors don't fully understand the value proposition of this technology? They don't fully understand the future in terms of the technological progress of this technology. I think it's the second one. I think a lot of investors still have not woken up to the value proposition that is at stake here for the Ethereum blockchain and really for the entire cryptocurrency economy. Most people still need to become acquainted with it, right? People might just get into Bitcoin. That's just the tip of the iceberg, of course. It goes so much deeper and it's so much more exciting than just Bitcoin. Although I love Bitcoin, right? Big Bitcoin fan here, but man, Ethereum, it's got some stuff going on. Anyway, your question for today. Do you agree with me? Do you think that with all the stuff I'm talking about here, that Ethereum is indeed massively undervalued? Or do you think, nah, Lark, you're crazy, man. Ethereum is massively overvalued. It's going to go down to zero. Some other blockchain's going to come up. Or, PayPal is just going to go to $10 trillion. You're all going to be sidelined, missed out on the trade of the decade by not piling into PayPal right now. Let me know down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and peace out till next time.